Do you have these three bad habits that could potentially be holding you back from good relationships? I suffered from these three habits prior, and it held me back from really succeeding in business because I couldn't form any viable relationships that could propel my business. And we're about to go over it with you now. So you can go ahead and relieve yourself of these three bad habits as well.
Let's do it. The mistake number, or the habit that a lot of people will have, is that they approach a lot of things in relationships with a win-lose approach.
Yeah, because no one likes to say sorry. No one likes to be wrong. Everyone wants to be right.
Or compromise.
Right? Yeah, compromise. It's huge. You say that. You always hear, oh, compromise. But unfortunately, I've seen in a lot of relationships, personal, you're talking about marriage relationships, where the compromise is really just someone bowing down to the other person and just letting things go. And what ends up happening is you just end up building a bunch of resentment against that person as the years go on. So it's lose-lose, really.
Lose-lose.
Yeah.
Well, and I think about how could this really come into the business world, right? But I think for myself, when you have employees, like you could be the type of owner who, this is law. This is how I run my business run. This is what I'm going to do with the schedule. This is what I'm going to do with the customer experience. And if you don't do it, you're fired. Well, good luck keeping a staff with that.
Yeah, you're going to have a high turnover. And what ends up happening, your business will plateau because you need trustworthy, loyal team members working with you and not for you in order to propel your business to the next level.
Right. So when you think win-lose, you're thinking, what does my business need? I need to protect my business. And if you're not going to fit that mold, then you're gone. A win-win is, okay, tell me what the challenge is. Maybe scheduling. I think this is the pain point for so many businesses. Okay, these are the hours I need to cover. What do you have going on in your school life or your personal life? How can we both win at this? And then if it's just that they are not available what you need, then they need to understand that you are going to have to hire an additional individual, which might mean less hours for them. Yeah. Do they understand that?
I think that's really just, it's like a marriage again. Having clear lines of communication, right? As if you're communicating your needs and they're communicating their desires, you guys can find a middle playground. Right?
Absolutely.
Just same thing in business. Yeah, it is. So win-win. It's compromising, but compromising starts with communication.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So habit number 2 that a lot of people have that hold them back is focusing on being heard before understanding and then sharing their perspective.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone? Probably I just did it to you now. Who knows? But have you ever been in a conversation with someone where you're listening to them, but you're really just waiting for them to take the pause so you can go in?
So you can interject your point. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about over here too. I think one of the struggles I had with in my business was I had that idea. First, there wasn't compromise. It was just, it had to be this way, right? There was no flexibility. And whenever anyone voiced their concerns or questions or needs, I'm like, I'm just waiting for them to shut up so I can go in and tell them why I can't do that for them.
Guilty.
Right?
Absolutely.
Until it became a more of a conversation, right? And you were
listening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listening what they're saying.
And even reading their nonverbal cues too. Not only what they're saying, but what is their body language telling you? Because I think it's so important to understand when you have an upset customer, you don't need to be ready to fire your excuses and your situation. Your customer doesn't care what you're dealing with. I'm so sorry, but they don't, and they shouldn't. But you need to understand how your customer is perceiving the situation and then move to a win-win solution. Yeah. So habit number 3, working as a silo instead of collaborating. I see this a lot, and we talk about this a lot with our business owners. They feel like they are just this army of one, and they can do it all by themselves, and nobody else understands, or they can't trust anybody else, or, the list could go on and on.
Guilty.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because, you don't want somebody else to steal your ideas. You don't think you can afford to have anybody else be part of your operational, whatever it is you have going on. You're scared that, people won't understand and support your vision. There's so many things that I think we go through.
I think competency is another one. When you think your arrogance feeds in and says you're the only one who can do that job as good as, or no one can do that job as good as you, right? And so you just start siphoning people off from actually doing anything with you, and then you become the silo, right? You don't actually have anyone who's willing to collaborate with you, right? So you might be able, maybe you want to do the win-win that we were talking about earlier, right? But now there's no synergy happening because no one wants to do win-win with you. Right.
So true. So to recap, these 3 bad habits that you need to change right now is shift from a win-lose mindset to a win-win mindset.
Yeah.
How can both parties benefit?
Yeah.
The second is seeking to first be heard versus listening and understanding.
Yeah.
And the third, and I think truly one of the most dangerous, is working as a silo versus collaboration and embracing your
Agree.
community.
Definitely agree. And if you guys enjoyed this book, why don't you go ahead and check out our previous episode where we talked about the first 3 habits.
Also, guys, hit the little bell because we put these videos out to help you grow yourself so that you can grow your business.
Yeah.
And that little bell will remind you when we post a new video. So thanks, guys, for being part of this.
See you next
time.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, the tasks that you need to do to get to that goal.
Yeah, because not all tasks are created equally.
No.
Right?
Nope.
Some are more important than others, guys, right?
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you do those ones first.
Yes, absolutely. Whatever's going to make money is what you should work on, or what sets your business up to function correctly.
Yeah.